a true Spurs victory. You've got contributions from the superstars all the way down to the bench players tonight, and a big win to get back in the win column. And we're going to break down everything that happened in today's game on Spurs Digest here with your host Keenan Warner. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed, everyone who's here, watches all the videos that we do. But if you haven't yet, take a spur of the moment, get every Spurs moment moving forward here. And you know what? It's a win. We're back in the win column. Let's just get right into it. Spurs get the win, 121-116 over the New Orleans Pelicans. This is the depleted New Orleans Pelicans. No Zion Williamson, no Brandon Ingram, but this is a team that's always going to fight and always going to get tough with you. They're going to play hard for 48 minutes. So regardless of the personnel that they have on the floor, this is a consummate professional basketball team, and they're not going to take nights off. So this is a good win. And this is a good win not just because it's obviously a win, a tick in the win column to help you propel yourself in the Western Conference, that is deep with talent. But it's also a good win because for the first time all season long, we saw Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sochan, and Devin Vassell on the court together. And was it a beautiful thing? It was a beautiful thing. First, I want to shout out to Chris Paul. Actually, if anyone has the NBA app randomly today, one of the trivia, because they go through like the trivia IQ thing, the IQ today actually was who has the most assists all time, 1 through 5, and it was John Stockton, it was Jason Kidd. Hold on, let me get to it. It was John Stockton, it was Jason Kidd, it was Chris Paul, it was LeBron James, it was Steve Nash. And now he eclipses Jason Kidd. Shout out to Chris Paul, the point guard, one of the 10 greatest point guards easily of all time. He's really the second best point guard of this generation, only behind Steph Curry. I understand there's Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. I don't care about any of them. Give me Chris Paul over all of them. Shout out to him. He played a pivotal role and has played a pivotal role in this team's success all year long. His veteran leadership, his assist to turnover ratio, which we're going to get into here quickly, and just the commitment to excellence that he puts forth on the floor every single night. You can't help but love it. You just can't help but love it from a veteran guy like this. This right here I wanted to really get into real quick. You see a shot chart. You see 2 threes, 2 of 3 from 3. You see 5 of 8 from the floor, 63%. You don't know who it is. You don't know when it was. That's Stephon Castle in the fourth quarter. He started off that fourth quarter helping propel the Spurs up to a lead. I believe they got up as much as 12. I think it was 99 to 87. And then obviously the Pelicans had brought it back. And then you had Wemby late. You had Wemby making huge plays down the stretch in this game. And overall, you get Wemby, who's coming off of an injury, so he's only going to play 26 minutes in this game. You got Sochan, who played 36 minutes the other night, but really is still trying to work his way back from that hand injury, get his full wind. He only played 23 minutes. You've got Vassell, who's sitting out back-to-backs. He's not in the full rotation yet. He had 26 minutes, I believe that is, there on the court. But you had Stephon Castle. He ended with 22. You had Harrison Barnes, who was a plus 20 on the floor. Julian Champagnie hit a couple threes. It was really a team effort tonight, and that's what we want to get into. There is one guy I haven't mentioned on purpose yet. I mean, we got some contributions from Keldon Johnson. Zach Collins went out early in the game. And with Zach Collins going out, there is one guy we're going to get to here in a moment. It's Charles Bassey, guys. Don't forget. Don't worry. We are not forgetting about the contributions that this man had on the floor tonight. He gets the game ball for the San Antonio Spurs for sure. I get Wemby made the plays late. I understand that Castle was there, but if you're giving out a game ball, actually I'm giving out 2 game balls. One's got to go to Chris Paul for getting past Jason Kidd's got to go there. The other one's going to Charles Bassey. Absolutely. This right here was the second quarter, and this was the quarter that the Spurs were able to pull away, and then from there they were jostling back and forth, trying to maintain the lead, keep the lead, and they ended up eclipsing the New Orleans Pelicans towards the end of the game, obviously with the Wemby 3 and then the free throws at the end. But everybody contributed here. You had Barnes, who had 9 points. You had Wemby, who had 8 points. The team as a whole had 43 points. That is a great quarter. The team as a whole for the entire game, if you go back to that, they were only 12 of 39. It was a little tough for me to see there, but 12 of 39 from 3. You look at this quarter alone, there were 6 of 13. They made half of their threes. But offensively, when this team, the Spurs, are hitting threes, that is when they're a tough team to beat, because when they're hitting threes, that means people are crashing out to them. That's when Wemby can get downhill, Castle can get downhill, Chris Paul can get downhill, and then you can dish it out to your shooters, Champagnie, Harrison Barnes, Devin Vassell, others. You either get rim run, you get Jeremy Sochan in the dunker spot, or maybe you get him high post, him creating off of that too. There's so many different actions with the San Antonio Spurs, and just like obviously every team now, but specifically with the Spurs, when their three ball is hitting, that makes them a very tough offense to guard. When it's not hitting, they don't have a Jokic right now. Wemby's great, but obviously he doesn't play that game. Jokic, who is on a 2-game historical streak, he's putting over 100. Like, he's just going insane. I know it's the Wizards and the Hawks, but he's going absolutely insane. Shout out to Jokic, because he's insane. But we don't have that guy to where in the half court you really can just run beautiful sets through him. We do get beautiful sets in the half court, and that is a lot due to Chris Paul or the collapsing on Victor Wembanyama, but we're not a half court offense that is elite yet. We have the capabilities of being very good, but we're best when we're turning defense into offense, when we're getting out in transition, deflections, and we're getting those 4-on-3, we're getting the numbers in transition and being able to make plays off of that. And a lot of this is what you see from this quarter and overall. When the Spurs are shooting threes, that is when this team is at its most dangerous point. Now, we get into Charles Bassey. This right here, you probably are just looking at some weird numbers or whatever. You're like, what is all of this stuff? If you go on NBA, shout out to the NBA app, because the NBA app is great. They have so much in-depth stuff. If you ever need to look into something or have like the intricacies of things, just go to the NBA app. You can really break it down. It's the same thing with that or Basketball Reference. You can get so much great information from there. But you go to the hustle stats, the stats that don't actually show up on a traditional box score, but they keep track of it. Screen assist, Charles Bassey led the team. The screen assist points, of course, led the team. Had a deflection. Contested 4 jump shots, or 4 2-point shots, 1 3-point shot, so a total of 5 contests. That was second most on the team, only behind Victor Wembanyama. It's the hustle from him. He only did this in 17 minutes. That per 36 would be multiplying that by 2. That'd be 10 shot contests. That'd be 2, maybe 3 deflections. That would be 10 to 15, we'll say 10 to 12 points generated off of just screens alone. This is what this guy can do. This is why people are calling for Zach Collins to get traded, because we have a guy like this who is sitting on the bench ready to play, but he doesn't get the run because we have Zach Collins there. So that's why it's okay for Zach Collins to get moved. I actually think Zach Collins is a useful player. Can stretch the floor, good rebounder, fine to run, high-low games. Him and Sochan early on with the high-low actually was working better than Wemby and Sochan with the high-low prior to Wemby getting called out by that anonymous guy for being tired. Then he's gone into another demon level, but alien level, I should say. But I like Zach Collins. I think he's a good basketball player, and I think that he can definitely help out multiple rosters. I just think for this roster specifically, we've got such an athletic unit, a team that can really get up and down, and Zach Collins is more of a traditional style, going to get in the post. He can obviously stretch the floor, but going to be in the post, going to be more in the half-court set. He can run the floor, but he's not like Charles Bassey. He doesn't have that defensive prowess like him. He doesn't have the defensive energy like Charles Bassey. So I get the Jeremy Collins, not Jeremy Collins. I get the Zach Collins wanting to be traded, and I understand what people say there, and it's due to this guy's effectiveness in Charles Bassey. We need to find him more minutes. 15 minutes a game needs to be where he is at because he has earned that, and he is such a useful player for us. But this is the overall for the San Antonio Spurs. They got down in the first like they always do. Great second quarter. Third quarter was a little bit back and forth. They ended up only being down 4 and then a tied in the fourth quarter. 40 bench points. You're going to love that. 13 turnovers. Not the worst in the world. We have seen worse games, but 13 turnovers. Not too terrible there. You're okay with 13 turnovers. 17 fast break points. You would like to see them get out and run a little bit more when they can, but obviously they didn't force as many turnovers. They were able to get stuff going in the second quarter, but they didn't force too many turnovers. That's credit to the Pelicans. And then 60 points in the paint. You do love to see that. You love to see that 60 points in the paint. It will get it done on most nights. But shout out to the Spurs for this big win over the Pelicans, and it's a big win just because it gets them back in the win column. It gets them back feeling good again. You've got a few days off before you get your next game. Your next game is against the Timberwolves. The next game is against the Trailblazers on Friday. Then you got the Timberwolves on Sunday. So you've got time for Wemby to heal up, Vassell to heal up. You have time for Sochan to continue to heal up, get into rhythm, and then get yourself situated to. And the cool thing about it is you don't go into that on a loss. You go into that on a win. You're still feeling good, but there are still things to work on because you have had multiple losses in a row. So Mitch Johnson has himself, okay, guys, we are here. It's great that we won, but we have this, and this to work on, and you can talk to the track record for that, but then the Spurs don't feel like they're just, we keep losing. You finally get a win. So, great win against the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. I think it was a great team effort, and you love to see those team efforts because this is what this team can be. They have the pieces, they have the depth to be a team to take the moniker from this Warriors, the strength in numbers. They can be a strength in numbers kind of team going 10 deep. We've seen it with a lot of these teams in the past, even a lot of Spurs teams in the past being able to go 10 deep. Pop loves to have that versatility, 5 through 10 at least, if not 11, 12 on the bench. And this looks like another team that has that kind of makeup. We'll just see if they can actually get the wins and stack up playoff berths and all that stuff in the coming years, like those old Spurs teams. Not really old, but those recent old Spurs teams. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments about today's win. Do you think it's a big win? Think I just need to chill out a little bit on it? Or do you think it's actually something that could be a moving point forward for this team? We got to see Vassell, Sochan, and Wemby together. A really nice thing to see. But let me know in the comments what you guys think there. This has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will be seeing all of you guys very soon.